Hey, it's Adam Michael, and I just wanted to catch up with you a little bit here in a less formal setting. And I'm out here in my backyard in southeast Wisconsin, and just wanted to elaborate on a couple of things that I'd mentioned in the first two episodes. This morning, when I was at church, our pastor said, "A small, struggling start does not mean an insignificant life." And that means a lot to me. I'm sure that that could mean a lot to you as well. So many times we feel like we have our dream and we know what God's calling us to do, and we wonder when it's going to start. And I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was starting to share my vision with everybody, and I just wanted it to get big and just be big overnight and invest a lot of money in it. And one of the pastors in my church said, "Adam, start small." And I thought that was the dumbest advice ever. Looking back, now I realize the wisdom in that advice. And so here I am, 2013, starting small. Posted episode 1 for the viewers. 1,500 people saw the link. Of the 1,500 people that saw the link, about 50 went to viewed it. And of the 50 that went to view it, 5 decided to become subscribers. So if that isn't an insignificant start, if that isn't a small start, I don't know what is. Of course, a few days ago there were 0 subscribers, so that's positive. But a couple things that I wanted to talk about was, if you do have your dream, that's great, and I hope you're pursuing it, and we'll talk about some of those other things, some of those types of things in later series. But one of the things that I want to ask the viewers now is, how many of you would do more for God if you knew that He wasn't going to ask you to be a full-time minister? If you were to ask Him what He wanted you to do. And I know that was a big deal for me, is I didn't want to ask God what He wanted me to do, because I didn't want Him to tell me to be a pastor, to be an evangelist, or to be a missionary. And the cool thing is that God actually has planted passions and interests and desires inside of us, and He wants us to use those and to leverage those. And it's easy for us to be afraid of what the possibilities are, because we think that something called full-time ministry is the answer. And and I would be so bold as to say that's probably extremely rare, even more so than the people who are involved in it. There's such a high failure rate, and they know they've been called to do something, and they think that full-time in a position in a ministry environment is what it is, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. And maybe you feel unqualified. Certainly I don't have a degree in theology or masters of divinity, and but I go to where I can learn, and every day where I go to is the Bible. And I listen to several podcasts. I have several people that I listen to feed me, to grow from that, and then the rest is meditation time and quiet time. I do a lot of thinking and reflecting during my long workouts. I'm a triathlete. I do half Ironman and Ironman distance races, and because of that gives me a significant amount of time on the bike to listen to podcasts and to do reflections. And I can't tell you how many times I thought about this exact channel as I was writing or as I was running. And so one of the things I want to challenge you guys with this week is, just because we have a small start doesn't mean we're going to have an insignificant life. And you may feel unqualified and you may feel afraid, but I would just ask that you start to prepare yourself to be ready to ask the question, what is it that you're supposed to do? And I think you'd be surprised. I'm an innovation consultant. I go around and I help clients all over the world, typically in the United States, but frequently in Europe or other places. And I love doing that. I love helping them. I love helping hospitals deliver better health care. I love companies trying to deliver products faster and at a lower cost. I love racing. I love triathlons, and I get to do all of those. And I love my family. Got 3 kids. They're all great kids. Love my wife. 20 plus years we've been married, and God's blessed me, and I don't have to be in what people call a full-time ministry job, but I do have to be doing something. And like I mentioned in episodes 1 and 2, we are the church, and we should be providing the increase. We should be creating disciples. We don't need to be in a building, and quite frankly, if a lot of us are just in the building trying to get answers from the building, to get rid of our guilt, or to give back and think that that's the fulfilling aspect, then we're just mistaken. So this week, if you do some quiet time, even if it's 1 or 2 or 5 minutes, think about that, and how you'd be preparing yourself to ask what it is that you should be doing. Thanks. We'll see you next time.